In its first few years, Splatoon has already become my favorite Nintendo franchise. Its characters are charming, its world is fascinating, and above all, its gameplay is fluid, fast-paced fun. Of course, with great games comes great music, and Splatoon's soundtrack is a prime example with its unique mix of energy, attitude, and aquatic antiquities. No matter the genre, the Splatoon series consistently puts out exceptional music, and for the 7th anniversary of the series, I decided to look back at the music from the very beginning. But I could easily stop and remember this music anytime I wanted. In order to fully appreciate this music, I'm going to review and rank every single song. To be clear, every song in the official soundtrack is fair game, except the beta version of Splattack. The Squid Sisters solos included with their amiibo will also be considered, since they're unique from other songs and can be heard in-game. Live versions will not be considered since they cannot be heard in-game, and they're really just embellishments of the original music anyways. As for the songs I am considering, I've divided the soundtrack into 4 major categories: battle music, Octo Valley music, extra music, and jingles. Each of these categories will have their own rankings in order to better judge the songs in their proper contexts. But after every category has been reviewed and ranked, there will be a complete ranking of the soundtrack to determine which is the best song in Splatoon. Battle music plays during every multiplayer match, both in turf wars and ranked battles alike. As songs meant for action-packed online competition, they're expected to be exciting, and since they'll be heard most often, they're also expected to be highly memorable. I'd say all of the battle music succeeds with at least one of those, but some definitely succeed more than others. Splattack is not only the first of many songs by the Squid Squad, but also the main theme of the entire Splatoon series, and in both regards, it's a strong representation to have. The first section is a solid melody with excellent bassline support. The second section is where the song starts ramping up until it hits the peak at the perfect time. Then the third section brings things back to a steady melody with synths, until the lead guitar kicks back in and starts things all over again. One thing that could be better is the transition from the chorus back to the beginning. Other songs end powerfully and make the second time around just as awesome as the first, but Splattack's most powerful point is closer to the middle of the song, leaving a little bit more to be desired. Even so, Splattack is upbeat, iconic, and accurately representative of the entire Splatoon series. Sync is very unique because it seamlessly transitions between two rhythms which you normally wouldn't consider working together. The title is a perfect indicator of the feelings this song is trying to evoke. The first is high energy like most other battle songs, portraying the feeling of inking turf alongside your team in a turf war. The second half contrasts the first with an almost unnerving, sinister tone, portraying the feeling of sinking into enemy ink as your team starts falling behind. The first half is ink, the second half is sink. Just as the conjunction or connects and contrasts the opposing words in the song's title, the transitions from ink to sink and back seamlessly connect and contrast the opposing feelings portrayed in this one song. It doesn't have the build-up or cooldown of other songs, so it's not as exciting to listen to, but even without the excitement factor, Sync maintains a consistent quality that's entirely unique to itself. Seaskape is better on paper than in execution. The underlying rhythm is good, but the melody is too repetitive to let it shine. This continues for several measures without the song really going anywhere. The song eventually transitions into an exciting vocal section, but because of the monotonous nature of the first half of the song, this powerful second half doesn't feel earned? Listening to this song is half ignoring the melody and half waiting for the good part. Two things which tend to make a song unmemorable. There are still things about this song to enjoy, and it wouldn't take much to make it just as exciting and memorable as other songs. But as it is, Seaskape is one of the least enjoyable battle songs in Splatoon. Kraken Up grabs your attention from the moment it starts playing. The bass guitars establish a strong rhythm reminiscent of a horse charging into battle, and the vocal melody complements the instrumentation beautifully. Halfway through, most of the instrumentation drops out, and more vocalists start freestyling on the beat, with a bass guitar added to strengthen every line. Finally, the original singer and instruments return for one last hurrah, building up to a strong finish before looping straight back into the opening. After listening to the song a few times, the lack of resolution for the bass guitar does feel weird, but hearing the opening vocals that got you hooked in the beginning will keep you hooked for the second time through. Kraken Up may not be a perfect song, but there's very little that it gets wrong. Metalopod, as implied by the name, is the first metal rock song in Splatoon. On the surface, it seems to be as repetitive as Seaskape, but the vocals don't go with the melody. Instead, the vocalist just does his own thing, and it sounds awesome. He sounds more and more aggressive, until finally sounding off with what sounds more or less like a battle cry. Then the instrumentation and background vocalists take over, as if to represent the opposing team trying their best to take you down, but the end of the song culminates in their defeat. This song combines the angry sound of metal with the competitive nature of Splatoon, creating a song that says, "Get out of my way, or suffer the consequences." Shellfie, or Friend List, is a fast-paced song that encourages you to stay on your toes. In a sense, this feels like the song of the mid-fight, highlighting the quick thinking and even quicker movement necessary to be good at Splatoon. While this fight starts off fairly even, it suddenly starts shifting in the opponent's favor, but you stick with it, push back the offense, and turn the game around in your favor. The song doesn't end triumphantly though, because the game is far from over. You have some time to recuperate, but soon the other team will come right back to try again. Chirpy Chip's combination of chiptune and guitars comes through in full force here, giving the song a fun, upbeat tone reminiscent of classic Nintendo. Unfortunately, having chiptune in the place of guitar on the melody comes with some downsides, namely that the song doesn't have quite the same punch as most of Squid Squad's music. Still, Shellfie is an energetic, upbeat song that hardly ever slows down. Split and Splat, or Quick Start. Wait, why is this called Quick Start, but Shellfie is called Friend List? The names must be backwards, because Shellfie is a quick song, and Split and Splat is a friendly song. With easily the cheeriest tone of the battle songs, Split and Splat highlights something about teenagers that none of the other songs do: their friendships. It gives the impression of a tight-knit group of Inklings spending a bright summer day together, taking pictures, sharing ice cream, and just enjoying each other's company. It's a reminder that no matter what may happen in the heat of the moment, good friends always stick together. Split and Splat may not be heart-pumping or inspiring like most of the others, but it has its own special charm that can't be ignored. Hooked is a song that knows exactly what it wants to be and sticks to it. It uses a strong combination of guitar and piano to hit every beat with everything it's got. Its name is a clear indication of what the song is trying to convey. The song opens right as you notice some cowardly inkling trying to run away. The fool! He thinks he can get away from you? Ridiculous. Immediately, you start to chase him. He weaves back and forth to try to shake you off his tail, but you remain vigilant, chasing him all the way into a corner. That's when you find out his teammate was ready with an ambush. You fell for the bait, hook, line, and sinker. You reflect on your own stupidity as your original target super jumps to safety. As you respawn, you determine within yourself that you're not going to fall for that trick again, and you charge straight back into battle. Hooked has strong elements throughout its composition, with its reckless rhythm, its memorable motifs, and its exceptional instrumentation. Sucker Punch is a straightforward song that doesn't give any strong impressions. Where Hooked uses the piano for the melody and the guitar for the bass line, Sucker Punch does the opposite. The vocals and the aquatic warbles keep the song tied to Splatoon, but they're not so prominent that they become distracting. The warbles especially do a great job at emphasizing the high points of the song, as does the piano, which follows a consistent stair-step chord progression throughout. The height of the song is also capped off with a high-pitched trill that holds out just long enough before letting the bass line take over again. There's a reason I haven't talked about the guitar much, though. The melody itself is unmemorable compared to other songs, and I only really remember this song for the piano. As a whole, though, Sucker Punch may not be the most exciting or memorable Splatoon song, but it's far from a bad one. Now or Never plays during the last minute of every turf war to emphasize how important this last minute is. The beginning of this song ramps up the energy immediately. If you're winning, don't get too comfortable yet. And if you're losing, now's the time to pick up the pace. Squid Squad's style is especially strong here. Their guitars and drums are firing on all cylinders, and the vocalist is putting all of his effort into every note. The rhythm of the vocals and instrumentation don't line up perfectly throughout the song, but every time that Now or Never hits, the band comes together beautifully. They're giving it everything they've got, and if you want to secure the victory, you'll have to do the same. The teams get together for one final push, fighting with all they've got until the very last seconds. Ink flies back and forth, turf being covered all around, Inklings being splatted one by one, until... Ink Me Up is a classic example of the Squid Sisters style. No special impressions here, just some good old-fashioned high-energy electronic pop. And what better music than that for such a big party like Splatfest? The toe-tapping tempo, the bouncing beats, the dance-inducing drive, and of course, the Squid Sisters' vivacious vocals. It all comes together for an unforgettably upbeat ambience. This is what Splatfest are all about. Getting your mind off all the stress and all the try-harding and ranked, and just focusing on having fun playing turf war with your fellow Inklings. But just like anything else, every battle must come to an end. And the Squid Sisters are here to provide just the right song. During Splatfests, the Squid Sisters sing their own variant of Now or Never, and it is beautiful. The instrumentation coincides perfectly with Ink Me Up. And of course, the Squid Sisters' vocals are always a treat, especially during the bridge. Unfortunately, the uniform rhythm and the relatively powerless vocals don't have the same impact as most other battle songs. However, this version of Now or Never highlights the joy of the Splatfest, making it a pleasure to listen to all the same. Now that we've looked at all the battle music individually, there's only one more battle left. Which one of these will claim the title of the best battle song? This category got harder to rank as it went on. Even though I knew my first and last place from the start, everything in between, especially towards the top ranks, was so difficult to decide. I can see any of these songs being your personal favorite, but here's my ranking for the 12 battle songs. In 12th place is Seaskape. Comparing its first half to its second, it just feels unfinished. In 11th place is Shellfie. It has a similar problem as Seaskape with its repetitive nature, but it's a little more upbeat and doesn't try to pretend it's more exciting than it is. In 10th place is Sucker Punch. It's just underwhelming compared to the top half of this list. However, I put it above Shellfie since it has a smoother build-up and in general is less repetitive. In 9th place is Split and Splat. Like I said before, Split and Splat isn't high energy and most would likely consider it unmemorable, but its friendly tone is enough for me to enjoy listening to it over the past 3. In 8th place is the Squid Sisters' Now or Never. It lacks the excitement of Squid Squad's version, and even in a vacuum, it's mostly held up by the vocals. But still, it's fun to listen to. In 7th place is Metalopod. It does feel a bit repetitive if you focus on the lead guitar, but the vocalist does a lot to give the song a feeling of build-up and make the second half feel far less jarring than in Seaskape. In 6th place is Ink Me Up. The Squid Sisters' style shines through in full force, and you can't help but bounce along to the beat. In 5th place is Ink or Sink. With 2 different sections, this song had the potential to be heavily lopsided, but instead, both sections come through equally strong. In 4th place is Hooked. What else could I possibly call this song besides a banger? The piano and guitar are so powerful throughout, and they make for an unforgettable composition. In 3rd place is Now or Never. It was hard for me not to put this higher, but I can admit that this song isn't perfect. Still, the startup of the song is all I need to get excited for the last minute of any battle. In 2nd place is Splattack. It's iconic, exciting, and unforgettable all the way through. In 1st place is Kraken Up. It was hard for me to find something bad to say about either of the top 2, but Kraken Up has been my favorite for almost as long as I can remember. Every element fits together excellently, and I love it every time I hear it, giving Kraken Up the title of the best battle song. We've been battling for a while, haven't we? Has anyone saved the Great Zapfish yet? Octo Valley music comes from Splatoon's single-player mode. Octarians have a distinct style to their music that's hard to miss. You'll travel through 5 sectors, detaching the Zapfish, destroying the great Octoweapons, and finally defeating DJ Octavio. While this category has some obvious highlights at the end, the destination is only made greater by the journey. Captain Cuttlefish's theme is a perfect representation of his character. At first, you're not sure what to think of him. The wooden drum tells you that he's got a bit kooky with his old age, but the guitar melody displays his love for adventure, and the snare drum harkens back to his days in the Great Turf War. As a war veteran, Captain Cuttlefish passes his knowledge on to you as he guides you through Octo Valley, and from the moment you meet him, he shows a genuine heart for you and treats you almost like his own grandchild. Captain Cuttlefish is a lovable, kooky, adventurous war veteran, and his theme encapsulates this perfectly. Octo Valley is a well-paced hub song with a melody that fits the location and a beat that fits the main character. At first, the song is relatively simple as you stop and take in your surroundings. They seem so different, yet so familiar. The simplicity of Sector 1 is somewhat boring to listen to separately. However, as you progress and get more confident in traversing the area, the beat starts kicking in. And once you reach the final sector, it starts picking up speed. Sector 5 is cool in its own right, but it betrays some of the building up of other sectors, and feels a bit out of place as a result. Regardless, Octo Valley is overall a simple yet catchy hub world song that builds on itself in a satisfying way. But enough about the hub world, you've got Zapfish to save! After you find the entrance to the first stage, you slip through the kettle, and the first thing you hear is one of Splatoon's most iconic motifs. Eight-legged Advance moves at just the right pace, not charging you straight into battle, but not holding you back either. The guitar melody is kept simple as you ease into your new role as Agent 3, but the Octarian-style bassline keeps the song moving as you advance on enemy territory. The second half of the song shifts your focus from the task at hand back to the world around you. The more you travel around these levels, the more you see just how strange the Octoling world is. It's supposedly underground, yet there's floating platforms and blue skies? How is that possible? For someone becoming a new hero, the simplicity of the song works wonders. But even so, this song is not exciting. It's not boring necessarily, in fact it's quite pleasant to listen to on its own. But for a song that plays in the thick of the action, pleasant should not be the word that comes to mind. The second half of the song is at least more intriguing than the first, but it never taps into that energy Splatoon music so commonly produces. Eight-Legged Advance is a simplistic, beginner-friendly song, which unfortunately leaves some things to be desired. Tentacular Circus is a hectic song with all sorts of elements. The bassline keeps the song grounded as all these different sounds pop in and out, almost like a carousel spinning around too fast to process. You're starting to move through these levels more quickly, but they're also starting to get trippier. It's likely your head is spinning like a carousel too. The song is memorable in a general sense, but since it doesn't have any sort of melody or even consistency, there's nothing about the song you could realistically hum or head bop to. That said, Tentacular Circus may be a weird song, but it's confident in its weirdness, which Splatoon music has always done best. Cephaloparade is the sound of legions of Octarians lining up ready for battle. With a deeper bass and a slower pace, the Octarians move towards you in a slow, intimidating march. As you go farther underground, the levels get more intricate and difficult to traverse. And, as implied by the more prominent vocals, the armies get bigger and stronger. You hear the trumpets sound, and you shudder a little, but you know you have to press on. Similar to Eight-Legged Advance, the second half feels like it's messing with your head, and similar to Tentacular Circus, it feels sporadic with no consistent melody to hold on to. Cephaloparade is a cool song, but one that intends to show that the Octarians mean business. Inkstrike Shuffle plays during your encounters with Octo Strikers. The darkness of the stage and the more subdued vocals of the song are perfect for a stealthier mission. The bouncy chiptune beat sounds like a musical tiptoe, and the beats alternate between both sides of your headphones, imploring you to be aware of your surroundings in all directions. Inkstrike Shuffle complements the stealthy stages without being boring in the slightest. Octoling Rendezvous sees you charging straight into battle against the first creatures that might actually pose a threat, the Octolings. They're built like Inklings, they can swim and jump like Inklings, and they sure can shoot like Inklings. This song is designed to keep you on your toes, having a sort of zigzag to its melody as you weave through a wave of warriors. As the Octarian vocals multiply, so do the Octolings themselves. They try to jump you from all over the place, firing away and hoping to catch you slipping. But with your experience on the battlefield, you manage to outmaneuver them and splat them one by one. Octoling Rendezvous is an intense song for when you're intensely outnumbered. Octoweaponry is another song that keeps you alert for an intense battle. The percussion is faint, but it's fast. The synth and chiptune start from the first phase, establishing a relatively simple pattern, but the second phase is where it gets good. The beats start pumping, the vocals start bumping, and the bosses start slumping. In the third phase, strings, trumpets, and even a choir join in as the Octoweapon takes its last stand. While its first phase is rather underwhelming, its second and third phases make Octoweaponry a heart-pumping backtrack to every boss battle.
Sunken Scrolls can be found in every single level, and they help you piece together the backstory of the Splatoon world. At first, you look on thinking they'll just be interesting bits of lore, but as you read more and more, you realize just how dismal the events were that led to this point. From the extinction of humans to the Great Turf War, the backstory of Splatoon is riddled with brutal conflict. The song that plays as you read has an appropriately ominous tone, with the low whistle of the wind and harsh bells chiming continually. Now you realize why the Octarians took the Great Zapfish, and you start to wonder, who's really the bad guy here? I Am Octavio starts with a simple electronic beat and adds to it as the fight goes on. You can tell DJ Octavio made this music himself. The battle starts simple, with Octavio launching giant fists at you that you have to dodge and shoot right back at him. As you move along, the space gets even tighter, the attacks get heavier, and the music gets scarier. There's more instruments, an Octarian rapper, and a choir jumping in with the onward motif. There's also another version of the song that plays while the giant missiles fly, and I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's certainly different. Octavio tries his hardest to overwhelm you with attacks, but you dodge them and fire right back all the same. Just as Octavio readies his final attack, something starts to happen to his music. Calamari Inkantation, the one and only heavenly melody, starts blasting through the radio. This isn't just another Squid Sisters song, it is the Squid Sisters song. It made them who they are today, and every part of their style is on extra high display. The intro parallels the rhythm of I Am Octavio, but with a less choppy progression. The main melody is insanely catchy. The beat is bumping, the rhythm is heart pumping, and the chorus will get you jumping. Calamari Inkantation is an iconic heavenly melody that etches itself into the souls of cephalopods everywhere. Maritime Memory is a beautiful song to end the game with. It combines the melodies of City of Color and Calamari Inkantation into a heartwarming medley. The Squid Sisters' electro-pop instrumentation is repurposed to create a sound akin to lo-fi music, and their beautiful vocals make the song sound like a lullaby. In the last section, Callie brightly continues the melody from before, as Marie supplements it with their own simple sound. The Squid Sisters are amazing artists, and Maritime Memory is a perfect example of why that is. Now, just as this song concludes the story mode, let's conclude this section by ranking the Octo Valley music. Considering this music comes from the story mode, you'd think that context would play a huge role in this part of the ranking, but almost all of these songs serve their purposes flawlessly, so it still comes back down to quality. In 12th place is Sunken Scroll. It fits its context, which, given its context, makes it only situationally enjoyable. In 11th place is Octo Valley. For a hub world, it's great, but Sector 1 is just a slow song, and Sector 5 feels weirdly out of place from the others. In 10th place is Captain Cuttlefish's theme. It's a simple but catchy melody that suits him perfectly. In 9th place is Eight-Legged Advance. It's a good song, but past the intro, the melody is fairly forgettable. In 8th place is I Am Octavio. It has decent substance, but for final boss music, it's a bit underwhelming. In 7th place is Tentacular Circus. Its hectic nature makes it hard to hum or dance to, but it's certainly memorable all the same. In 6th place is Inkstrike Shuffle. Grooving to its bouncy beat will make it hard to be stealthy for long. In 5th place is Cephaloparade. If the Octarians were more threatening, this song would be quite intimidating. In 4th place is Octoweaponry. The first phase is pretty bare bones, but it makes a great skeleton for the second and third phases to bring this song into its full glory. In 3rd place is Calamari Inkantation. As much as this song has going for it, The one thing that sets it back is that it doesn't have much of a build-up or cooldown at any point. The whole song is consistently good and exciting, and it's certainly iconic, but I wouldn't comfortably call it the best. In second place is Maritime Memory. It's a beautiful conclusion with two beautiful voices. In first place is Octoling Rendezvous. Octarian AI is hot garbage, yet they get a battle theme like this? I couldn't explain it if I tried, but I can tell you this, Octoling Rendezvous is the best Octo Valley song. Now that our journey through Octo Valley is finally over and the Great Zapfish is back in his proper place, we should relax for a bit and take some time to appreciate the little things in life. Extra music fills in the gaps between the main modes. Whether they be in between battles or hanging out in Inkopolis Plaza, they all play a role in adding to the experience, even if they're not the main focus. A common thread throughout this section is simple but effective, though a few of these songs do go the extra mile. Regardless of length though, each of these songs justifies its existence with the same level of quality as the rest of the soundtrack. The Win theme is deeply invigorating. The electric guitar gets center stage, but the drums and inkling chants are what bring it all together. This song isn't just affirming your victory, it's outright bragging about it, which is right in line with the teenage spirit. The extravagantly competitive nature of the Win theme makes it all the more satisfying to hear, especially after an intense game. The Lost theme sounds a lot like a modern synthesized version of wah 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 wah. The electronic beats align with the sad pitter-patter of your sore heart as you find out just how poorly you did. Add a little bass guitar to bring it all together, and you've got a song that cuts deep and rubs your loss in your face every time. Just as the Win theme is competitively invigorating, the Lost theme is competitively irritating, making the two songs perfect counterparts to each other. Character creation is a simple loop that doesn't overstay its welcome. Its muted sound makes it feel like you're creating your character underground before it makes its way to the surface. And, as one of the first songs you hear, it also gives you a preview of what's to come with its instruments. Splattack Jam Session is exactly what you'd think it is. An alternate version of Splattack that sounds like the band was just jamming out in the studio. It builds up with different instruments until getting to a more familiar version of Splattack, finally ending with a section that uses an epic electric guitar. Though it takes a while to build up, the Jam Session edition nonetheless has its own flair that makes it stand out from the original. Visiting Inkopolis Plaza plays during the game's opening title screen. The camera gives you an epic bird's eye view of Inkopolis Plaza before panning down to show you amidst your fellow Inklings. From the lead up with the bubbly sounds in the beginning, to the hint of Calamari Inkantation at the end, this song is a great introduction to the world and the music of Splatoon. Every time you start up the game, you're greeted to a news broadcast courtesy of the Squid sisters. They usually just tell you about the current stage rotation for each mode, but they'll also inform you about other special events like game updates or Splatfests. The song itself is a pretty standard news broadcast song. It has a bit of a rhythm to it, but overall, it's unobtrusive. And for the context, that's perfectly fine. Inkopolis Plaza tutorial gets down to business and gets you up to speed. It combines the character creation loop with the instrumentation of Jam Session Splattack, showing that once this is over, you'll have all you need to know how to hang with the kids in Inkopolis. It's not the most unique song, but it's put together just right and paced just well enough to enhance the tutorial that accompanies it. Inkopolis Plaza has all sorts of sounds all over the place. Whether you're chatting it up with other Inklings, passing by the shops, or sneaking over to Spike, there's plenty of variety in the music. Functionally, they're little more than cute Easter eggs, but if you ever decide to go exploring in Inkopolis Plaza, there's some neat little songs to be found. The lobby is your menu for selecting battles. Its theme has a strong lead guitar and even stronger rhythm, and those combined with the moderate pace give the song a sort of pre-game locker room feeling. No matter how long you spend musing over which mode you'd like to play, the lobby theme tells you, this battle is gonna be awesome. Dubble Bath is a nice relaxing song that makes the wait for your battle much nicer. It's easy to compare to elevator music, but its tropical style would also be right at home in a comforting spa. Combine that with the simple game of Squid Jump to take your mind off the waiting. Oh yeah, remember when you could actually play a game while you wait, instead of, I don't know, sitting there messing with the music, or shooting at stationary targets that give you no actual practice? And Dubble Bath is a nice comforting song that respects your ears just as much as your time. Lookin Fresh plays in the shops of Inkopolis Plaza. The hip-hop style moves at a steady pace that keeps it relatively calm, but still fun, and it feels right at home in the little shop. Not only that, but it changes slightly depending on the shop you're in. Cooler Heads uses a sort of water droplet sound, and Jelly Fresh uses a triangle. Ammonites has a muted radio-like sound, and Shrimp Kicks doubles down on the hip-hop. On the Splatoon CD, they use Ammonite's version in the B section on the second loop, right before dropping the beat with Shrimp Kick's version. It doesn't make a big difference for the ranking, but I really like it. City of Color is another Squid Sisters classic. All the usual elements of their style are here. It's upbeat like Ink Me Up, and its melody is used in Maritime Memory, which makes both songs even more memorable. Of course, we can't talk about Squid Sisters and memorable music without this next song. Calamari Inkantation, traditional, can't be heard within the game, but it gives a good insight into a defining moment in the Squid sisters' lives. Long before the version we know and love today, the Calamari Inkantation was known as the Chorus of Calamari County, and it was well known and widely sung. To quote Sunken Scroll 17, Callie and Marie won Inkopolis' first annual youth folk singing contest. Their remarkable voices earned them a standing ovation from all present and catapulted them into the spotlight. While it's technically not confirmed that this is the song they sung, there seems to be a strong connection between the two. The Chorus of Calamari County invites anyone who knows the lyrics to sing along. Though Callie and Marie clearly prefer making music together, they've also both made solo tracks which would eventually get their own music videos for the game's final Splatfests. We'll see very quickly how each of their personalities and voices can stand alone just as well as they stand together. Bomb Rush Blush reflects Callie's crazy character. It leans heavily into the usual electro pop, yet with a lower synth acting as the bass. The song is energetic throughout, without much rising or falling, but the segment right before the chorus has strong downbeats that get you excited for the chorus to follow. Overall, it's a cute song for an even cuter Squid. Tide Goes Out reflects Marie's mellow mood. Synthwaves underscore the whole song, with subtle lo-fi percussion adding to the relaxing tone. And yet, the song doesn't stay completely relaxed. The crescendo of the chorus is powerful, hitting a few high notes we'd typically expect from Callie. And yet, the chorus reaches its peak and quickly drops the melody back down to a calm pace. It's as if the chorus is reflecting on the beauty of the changing tides, powerful as they come in, and peaceful as they go out. Overall, it's a beautiful song for an even more beautiful Squid. We've covered a lot of ground in such a short time, but it's been a fun time. Sure, the past two categories were the highlights, but they wouldn't be highlights without all the short, simple steps in between. In 15th place is Inkopolis Plaza. The default version is fun and memorable for how simple it is, but other than finding an amusing Easter egg or being thorough for a YouTube video, There's not much reason to listen to any of these variants. In 14th place is Inkopolis News. It's unremarkable, but just enjoyable enough to not be dead last. In 13th place is Lobby Theme. It is fitting, but listening to it separately gets repetitive very fast. In 12th place is Character Creation. Again, just a nice simple loop that keeps you engaged for the game to come. In 11th place is Inkopolis Plaza Tutorial. It's just energetic enough to catch your interest, and yet only a fraction of what's to come. In 10th place is Visiting Inkopolis Plaza. This gets a slight edge over the others purely for its presentation in-game. In 9th place is Splattack Jam Session. It's a good variation on a well-known classic, but unlike the classic, this version takes a very long time to build up and doesn't even hit the same highs as the original. Or maybe it does and the long build-up just kinda undercuts it. In 8th place is Dubble Bath. It's not just waiting music, it invites you to get comfortable. In 7th place is Lookin Fresh. Its fun hip-hop is enough to make every trip to the shops worthwhile. In 6th place is Calamari Inkantation Traditional. Not only is it a fun time hearing the locals in Calamari County sing along, and even interweaving their own parts into it, but it's also a fascinating look into the history of Inkopolis and of the Squid sisters. In 5th place is City of Color. Yes, it's the Squid sisters, but other Squid sisters songs are more memorable. In 4th place is Lost Theme. This song makes you feel like you lost, and that's why I like it. In 3rd place is Bomb Rush Blush. The vibrant nature of this song is a staple of Callie's design. In 2nd place is Win Theme. I don't think any victory theme I've ever heard has come close to matching this energy. It so accurately conveys the raw emotions of winning a hard-fought battle. It just barely comes second for being a bit repetitive, even if I can understand why that is. In 1st place is Tide Goes Out. The push and pull amidst the soothing synth gives the song beauty that few other Splatoon songs can match, giving Tide Goes Out the title of the best extra song in Splatoon. Jingles are short songs that signify important moments. These evaluations will also be appropriately short. Opening feels like it's saying, "On your marks, before the battle." It's a simple but effective riff. Battle Win uses guitars and inkling shouts to mimic the sounds of your team cheering for their hard-earned victory. Battle Loss uses electronic sounds to perfectly display teenage irritation, blending nicely into the Lost theme. Get Jingle plays when you purchase upgrades in Octo Valley. It's a simple guitar riff for a young inkling hero. Miss plays if you run out of lives in Octo Valley. Like Sunken Scroll, its eerie tone is jarring, but it's welcome. To Be Continued plays at the end of every Octo Valley level to hype you up and keep you moving. Splatfest Opening is basically an 8-bit enhancement of the regular opening. Splatfest Theme is the very beginning of City of Color with a bit of reverb for dramatic effect. Splatfest Results also uses the beginning of City of Color, but with different instruments and more finality, as expected. All of these jingles are short and sweet, and even though they're not that long, they still are just as important as the rest of the music. In 9th place is Splatfest Theme. It's not very exciting for the beginning of a Splatfest. In 8th place is Splatfest Results. It's not very exciting for the end of a Splatfest. In 7th place is Get Jingle. It is what it is and nothing more. In 6th place is To Be Continued. It's a fun, thematically appropriate use of the onward motif. In 5th place is Miss. It's quite sobering, again, like Sunken Scroll. In 4th place is Loss. It's not as powerful as the Wind Jingle, but it blends with its following theme just as well. In 3rd place is Opening. It's a strong introduction to any match. In 2nd place is Splatfest Match Opening. It's exciting for the opening to a Splatfest match. In 1st place is Win. It's powerful, it's triumphant, it's fun, and it blends perfectly with the Win theme that follows, giving Win the title of the best jingle. At last, we've made it through all 4 sections of the Splatoon soundtrack. Now, there's only one thing left to do: ranking the entire soundtrack of Splatoon. We've heard every piece of music the game has to offer, and now we've come to the full ranking of the Splatoon soundtrack. As usual, the bottom half was a lot easier to rank than the top, and now that the whole soundtrack is together, the best of the best will be at the top where they belong. Without further ado, here's my complete ranking of the Splatoon soundtrack. C rank is not for bad songs. Those don't exist in this game. C rank is for cool songs. However, these are the songs that I wouldn't choose to listen to without a specific reason. Number 48, Inkopolis Plaza. Number 47, Inkopolis News. Number 46, Splatfest Theme. Number 45, Splatfest Results. Number 44, Get Jingle. Number 43, Lobby. Number 42, Character Creation. Number 41, Sunken Scroll. Number 40, Octo Valley. Number 39, Inkopolis Plaza Tutorial. Number 38, Captain Cuttlefish's theme. Number 37, Visiting Inkopolis Plaza. B rank is for bangin' songs. Though I don't usually seek these out either, they're good for an occasional listen. Number 36, Splattack, Jam Session. Number 35, Dubble Bath. Number 34, Lookin Fresh. Number 33, Chorus of Calamari County. Number 32, 8-Legged Advance. Number 31, I Am Octavio. Number 30, Seaskape. Number 29, City of Color. Number 28, Lost Theme. Number 27, To Be Continued. Number 26, Shellfie. Number 25, Miss. Number 24, Battle Lost Jingle. A rank is for amazing songs that are regularly worth revisiting. They may not be the top, but they're still bops. Number 23, Bomb Rush Blush. Number 22, Opening. Number 21, Splatfest Opening. Number 20, Sucker Punch. Number 19, Split and Splat. Number 18, Battle Win Jingle. Number 17, Now or Never Squid Sisters. Number 16, Tentacular Circus. Number 15, Inkstrike Shuffle. Number 14, Cephaloparade. Number 13, Octoweaponry. S rank is for splat-tastic songs worth frequently revisiting. If this were a top 10 video, numbers 12 and 11 would be the honorable mentions. Number 12, Win Theme, the second best extra song with plenty of hype to show for it. Number 11, Tide Goes Out, the best extra song, surprisingly beautiful yet powerful. Number 10. Metalopod. The perfect song to accompany a destructive attack. Number 9. Calamari Inkantation. You know it would be up here, and frankly, I'm kinda sorry it's not any higher. Number 8. Maritime Memory. A gentle, cheerful farewell after an incredible story. Number 7. Octoling Rendezvous. An exciting theme that keeps you on your toes. Number 6. Ink Me Up. It's everything you could want in a Splatfest song. Number 5. Ink or Sink. Its back and forth nature keeps it feeling fresh. Number 4. Hooked. The striking combination of guitar and piano will get you hooked with every listen. Number 3. Now or Never. It's just as good now as it ever was. Number 2. Splattack. A perfect theme for the game, incorporating all the best elements of its style. Number 1. Kraken Up. The exhilarating anthem of an excellent attack, and the most hype of the battle songs. Though it had to go toe-to-toe with two of the game's most iconic songs, it proved itself to be just as strong and came out on top. Kraken Up is the best song in Splatoon.